everybody, it's Kate Richburg, and it is Saturday, January 11th, day one of the Great Bead Extravaganza. It's so great to have you all here. The numbers are climbing. There's 200 of you watching already. Thank you so much for being here. Wasn't Candy's projects, weren't they great? I love stretch bracelets. I may have to get on the stretch bracelet train soon. We love those here as well at Bead Shop, and they're so fun and fast. And Candy, you made it so fun and fast, and I love your packaging ideas. Candy Cooper is just a force to be reckoned with. I see a lot of great people, well, all of you great people, in the comments. My buddy Abby Berta is here from the Bead Place. Abby Berta has a fantastic project. She kicks off the TGBE tomorrow, and her project is so good. I love it so much. And my partner in crime, all of you guys know, my wonderful partner in crime, Janice Parsons. She works at Bead Shop with me. That's so funny. Janice is our founder. Bead Shop has been going since 1982 under Janice's expert tutelage, I guess, or steering our ship since 1982. So Janice is our wonderful founder, and she's here linking stuff in the comments. So you'll see those. She'll be helping out as usual for our live broadcasts. It's great to have everyone here. As I said, I'm going through the comments here, and Michaela is here also from Nostalgica. Great to have all of our beading family here and ready to be doing a really fun project today. So a couple of things that, Wendy, a big shout out for Janice. Yes, thank you so much. Miranda is also here working today. She is packing orders, so you might hear a little bit of order rustling in the background. We're working on getting your orders out as fast as our little hands can do them. So thank you. So if you are a first-time watcher here at TGBE or at beadshop.com, welcome. If you're a seasoned viewer, this is our 18th Great Bead Extravaganza. If you've been here for every single one, welcome back. And if you are new, welcome. It's great to have you join the family. Here at beadshop.com, I go live every Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. So if you are not familiar with our live broadcasts, jump over and join our newsletter over on beadshop.com. You can find us over there, our newsletter link, and you'll be, hooked in to all the happenings here at Bead Shop. Also, let me put this up, though. I put it up at the end of that little opener that I did. You can find us everywhere online. Facebook, our wonderful Facebook group called the Bead Table. We'd love to have you join us over there. Our Instagram, our Pinterest. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. We are going out on all broadcast channels today. So please, if you want to be notified when we broadcast broadcast all of our content over to our YouTube channel. We have over 900 instructional videos over there. So hit that like, subscribe, and notification because you never know, in addition to that Wednesday and Friday broadcast, when I go live or when I upload other content. Also, hit us up anywhere, tag us at beadshop.com, anywhere on social. And if you have any questions, we're only on the other side, always on the other side of the computer at info@beadshop.com. We also have, if you comment, I'm going to do a drawing at the end of the broadcast. And we're going to do it live here on air. All you need to do is put in the comments hashtag TGBE to win a $25 gift card from beadshop.com. And I think I'll give away a couple of those. So, but I want you to stay all the way through because you need to be here to win so I can see your comment, but it'll be worthwhile, I promise you. Also, my friends, today through Monday, everything on beadshop.com is on sale, including our brand new bangles, which I'm going to share with you. The coupon code is TGBE20. Enter that at checkout and you'll save 20% off store-wide. It's through 1/13/25. Isn't that crazy? I saw 25 on the screen and I'm like, is that right? But it is. It is right. So I know, like, during all the presentations and everything, you know, we come at you fast and furious, bam, 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 one after another. So you'll have also all of Monday to shop as well. We just restocked our bangles because you folks were buying them like crazy. So thank you so much for that. We're going to keep these in stock for as long as we can. We just love them. And all the Delica Mixes, I'm going to show you all of this stuff. So let me hide that. Let me go over to the comments. Yes, you're doing your hashtag just like Tina is doing right here, hashtag TGBE. And Marlene, welcome. It's your first time here. Well, welcome. It is fantastic to see you here at our TGBE. It's great to have you all. And yes, Marianne, a big thanks for all that Drea does for us at Bead Shop. You know, we couldn't do it without our team. It is, you know, Candy was giving shout out to her team. I'll give a shout out to our team here. We couldn't do it without all of them and without all of you out there. So thank you so much. Thank you, Softlex friends, Kristen and Sarah. I'm excited to share this bangle with you. So without further ado, let me just scroll through here just real quick. And all right, let me add my camera in here. And let me highlight it. All right, I'm going to try and keep an eye also on comments as well. Oh my gosh, 300 of you watching. Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate having you all here. So let's talk about the project. I'm wearing my bracelet stack this morning. Thank you, Margaret. Margaret just said, love your wrist tack. Same. Whoops, I'm trying to get it up here on this. Sorry, Jennifer, I put your hi everyone, which was great. But thanks, Margaret, for noticing. I've got my bracelet stack here. This is the bangle that we're going to be talking about. This is my Kate's favorite that I wear all the time. It's with our shadows beads that we love. And this was the project that blew up the internet a few what do I want to say, TGBEs ago. This is our expedition bracelet. You can also find this pattern over on beadshop.com. This is really great with our Love of Lydia chain. Everybody loves this one. I've got another one on here too with the same kind, but with black and our black clasp. So these are all really fun stacks to wear. So I love it. Motocrafts. It is your 18th TGBE. I love it. We really appreciate all of you, all of you supporting us and watching this TGBE. It's a lot of fun for all of us to do it. Thanks, JP, for putting up the original expedition bracelet. If you're not familiar with Bead Shop's projects, if you go to the homepage and you go under Learning, you'll find a giant list. As I said, we have like over 900 projects on our website. It is crazy. Just keep clicking and diving in deeper and deeper. Look at our archived projects. We have some things from when we were a brick and mortar back in the day. So there's so much. Our lookbooks, our design lookbooks, so much there. So you can find them all right there. There is Joe says, does Miranda ever go home?
No, I live here.
She does live here. Oh, and thank you for your kind words. You all are the best. Drea always answers, and Janice and Kate are so talented. Newbies, you will be hooked. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, it was Andy. It's Andy Preston. Thank you, Andy. We know you and love you well. And Carrie says, I think Miranda has to combine 5 orders if she's able at Margaret Sloan. Well, thank you, my friends. All right, let's get down to it. All right, so I used these bangles, a bangle that was really similar a few TGBEs ago. I don't know. Time has no meaning anymore, so I can't remember. We did something with a really skinny bangle, like this one that I'm wearing here, but we have been able to source, and unfortunately I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to source these. We're working with our manufacturer. These are brass channel bangles. They're really fabulous. I love them. And we have them in the 3 sizes. This is the narrow, the slim, the medium, and the wide, the large. And what I did was I made a little, this is a good time to take a little screenshot here with the info for the large bangles, all the bangle sizes, the large, the medium, and the small. They all have an inside diameter of 2 5/8 inches or 66 millimeters. So I'm sorry that we couldn't get these any larger or smaller. We do have cuffs coming up that we will be able to do something very similar with this. Emily's doing a bead embroidery project with the cuffs, so you'll be seeing them again later in cuff form. We're going to try and keep these though as long as we can. So my wrist size is about 6.5. My hand isn't tiny. It's not huge, but it's certainly not tiny. And, just sliding this on, putting this on my wrist fits really nicely. And Emily gave us a tip yesterday when we were introducing these on our regular Free Tip Friday. If you have a larger wrist, you may want to go with a narrower bangle. If you have a smaller wrist, you may want to go with a wider bangle. You can also put something like, see how I can slide this up? I can put my bangle at the top of my stack and have these more as like guards for them, right? Also, yesterday, Miranda tried it on. She's got a 7-inch wrist, also fit perfectly. So there is some wiggle room here with them. Now, I wanted to share this one with you. I've been showing you this all week. If you like this project, right, but you're like, I don't want to put them on, I don't want to use a bangle, right, for whatever reason, you don't want to wear the bangle. This is from our Leather and Looming series, and I did this a while back. This is a 10 millimeter clasp, 10 millimeters across, right? A magnetic clasp. And what I used was one strand of 5 millimeter. Let me see if I can zoom in on this for you. One length of, let me move this here so it doesn't pull too much focus. One length of 5 millimeter right here, flat leather, and 1 3 across piece that I actually loomed. I actually did this with bead weaving. You could also do this with peyote stitch, but this also ends up being 5 millimeters across. Okay, so you could do something very similarly. See how I have this piece that I've done? So you could do something like this with peyote stitch and put it in, right? You could make it any length. And Barbara, for sure, if you have a larger wrist or if sometimes with the bangle, it's not as comfortable to wear, especially if you're doing typing and stuff. So something like this is really great. You can make it fit right into the 10 millimeter clasp, glue it in, and then wrap it round, right? So it would be really fun. Or you could do it as a thinner one, like I did here, and put it here with the leather and the seed bead piece. There's a lot that you can do with this. And this is on our, in our projects under Leather and Looming. If you look under Leather and Looming, I have so many loomed projects that jump in with this flat leather. Now, speaking of this flat leather, and I'm going to get to the peyote stitch in just a second, but I want to show you these bangles real quick. And I'll put this back up so you folks can see that. Let me zoom out just a little. I love that Wanda is greeting everyone and is so super excited. Your enthusiasm, my friend, is infectious. I love it. I love it. Love, love, love. And yes, Danielle's box clasp definitely would be an option. We have that box clasp. I have one here. Let me grab it. You can see here's Danielle's piece she did with us a while back. She did this with ADOTs. This is the ADOT box clasp, but we also have the box clasp for the 11-aughts. This would be fantastic. Thank you, Heather, for mentioning that. This would also look really great with that. And I bet you could, and we have a lot of, Danielle came on, we have a great video with Danielle showing how to do these, but it would definitely look great. See, even with this wider one, though this is the ADOT one, but see how you could get something wider in there as well. So there's a lot of ways that you could take just this simple peyote stitch option, these simple things, and start playing around to make them yours. Love. So large bangle, medium bangle, small bangle. I think we call the small bangle narrow on our website, honestly. So the inside diameter of all of these, like I said, 2 5/8 or 66 millimeters. Now the bangle width, this one's 3/8, 1/2 inch, and 3/4 is what this is. And approximately, that's about what they are. And then you can get in here, it's even count peyote with 11-aught delicas. Your base row is 6. In the medium bangle, it's even count peyote with the base row of 8. And this large bangle is odd count peyote with 11-aughts right here. And so you can see I've been working on this one. You can see here, I'm going to zoom in on this. Okay. Oh, and thank you, Janice. We call them wide, medium, and narrow. So wide equals large, medium obviously is medium, and narrow is the small. Thank you for that. Let me zoom in on this real quick so you can see this. This is the wide bangle with the odd count. And can you see, you can't because it's not, there we go, as focused. There's a little bit of room next to this strip right here, but I tried adding a 12th one to make it even, and it didn't quite fit. Okay, so if you're doing the wide, what I would do is I'd do the odd count, and then I would put it kind of right in the center. You're hardly going to see the little space around it. So that's what I do. Okay, so that's how I deal with that one. So let me zoom out. Let me show you. We launched actually a bunch of new seed bead mixes in Delica. And we did that for this project. And let me lay these out so you can see them here. Let me zoom out. Am I zoomed out all the way? I am. Good. Let me clear this up. And they're all on the website. And these are all in 11-aughts. Okay, and we've got a variety of them. The one that I'm working up today, this one is it Marsala? Hang on. I need to find, where's my little tube? I thought I had everything here ready to show you, and I don't have my tube of beads. Here it is. Oh my goodness. It is Marsala. is this one. Okay. And I noticed, I'm going to try and make up a little sample of each of these because let me show you, let me zoom in here. And I'll show you how all of these fit in the channel, Heather, and you could definitely patina these if you wanted to use your patina, like your Black Max or whatever kind of darkening patina you like to use. These are raw brass, so you can not only patina these in your patina solution, but you can also really polish these up to a nice high polish using, look at that nice polish on there, using your Pro Polish pad. And we carry these Pro Polish pads. I'm going to polish mine before I glue in. Look at that, how nice this is, right? So good. And here's the medium size, and you can see how the medium looks on my wrist stack. I love this medium here as well. I love that it's not too thick, but I love the wide one too. So it's hard to say. So this red one that I'm looking at, this Marsala, if you can see, I'm going to place it in my hand here. These mixes are super subtle. I know it's kind of hard to, let me see if I can get that. There we go. And can you see this? It's hard to see. Let me get my awl. Here is, there's one bead in here that's the silk finish, and we don't see those very often. It is just so delicious. I really love this Marsala mix. This one, we've got two that are kind of metallic. Those are these right here. Let me slide in if I can. This one is the bronze patina, and this one is the heavy metals. This one, if you're really into the color of the year, which is the mocha mousse color, this one is, I don't know where my, here it is. This one is metallic mix, and it has a little bit of blue, a little bit of pink. So gorgeous. This one is really fun and spring-like. This one's called Mum's the Word, and it's very chrysanthemum-y, very springy. We've got this turquoise one, which is the Snow Queen. That's this. This one is Blue Lagoon. Love that. It has some purple in it, which is just gorgeous, some kind of purpley one. And then this last one here, which I am loving. This one's called Berrylicious, and it also has some purple. And that's what this wide one, I've been throwing my samples all over. So let me clear these for a second and get the samples, and we'll talk about how many we're going to use. So hopefully they didn't end up on the floor. Bear with me here just a second. Let me get those out of the way. And let me find my wide bangle sample. Here's this one. I'll put this back there. It's a good time to take a screenshot of it. And yes, I see some great questions that I'm going to answer. My little sample, though, seemed to have disappeared on me. What a surprise. Well, I will, right? I was just holding them. I was just showing them to you. Well, I have this sample, so that's good enough for now. Here's the blue. That's what I was looking for. But I need the Berrylicious. Well, it'll show up. Does your bead table look like this? Because mine does. So here is, okay, so let me go back and answer some of these questions, and we will I'll find it. All right. So what type of patina? So Sheila, that's a great question. So there are for brass. You can use, and different like metalsmithing sites carry it. You can find it, I think, over at Rio Grande. There's a patina solution called Black Max. There's also, it's also known as Silver Black. If you go to my personal YouTube page, Kate Richberg, YouTube, I have several really great patina videos up on there, so you can kind of play around with that patina. Okay. I also play around with coating your metals. So Chris is asking, would you put some sort of clear coat on this? Now, you could if you wanted to keep this shiny patina, right? If you wanted to. Now, when I do some of my metalsmithing work, I use a product called Protecto Clear. And Protecto Clear is either a brush on or a dip that you can dip your metals into to act as a retardant for tarnishing. Okay. So if you are like if you do some metalsmith, some metal fabrication and stuff, these are all seamless channels. So you could solder onto these. You could set a stone. There's all kinds of stuff right here. Okay. So, and as I showed you with this polishing cloth, you can just polish, and this brass, I think, really, really looks gorgeous like that. Now, Terry asked, how many bracelets can you get from one tube of the beads? So this medium, this small size and this medium size, you just need one tube. Okay. For the wide, I would go ahead and get two. Okay. Of those. Here's another question. Is the channel roughed up to assist using glue? The channel is just kind of unfinished. It's not really rough. It's actually pretty smooth to the touch. I'm going to glue these in using diamond glaze. We're going to talk about the diamond glaze, and you don't need to roughen, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay. Let me go through here. Here's a great question from Sherry. If I did a couple less rows of beads, could you fit a tiny leather strand on each side? You sure could. So this is my 3 rows across. Okay. So here's that 3 row. All right. And here's my 5mm leather. Can you see that? Let me get this. I have some 5mm leather here. So here's the wide. And so all of these equal 5mm. So can you see how that fits across? 5mm, 5mm, 5mm in the 3/4 inch bangle, right? If I put this in the medium bangle, there's that 3 across. And there's that strip. So this, instead of peyote stitch, I did this just a 3 across loomed piece. I bead wove that. There we go. You can see that. I used a metal 11/0 that we carry at Bead Shop, as well as a Delica cut beads there. Okay. Let me keep looking at the questions here. And don't forget, just like Nicole is doing, don't forget to enter hashtag TGBE, and we will do a drawing at the end here. Would these new 11/0 mixes fit on regular Ceylon in order to macrame on the edge of leather? And I will check. I've got some Ceylon here. We'll check, right? Let me see. Keep going. Let's see. Oh, and there's my friend Jill McKay. Jill McKay, you are coming up after me. I'm excited. Yes, and you can see I'm adding color to metal. Janice went to my YouTube channel. You can see that there. Okay. Let me keep going. Janice has all of the strap leather in the comments. Sorry, I'm just going through here so I don't miss anything. Yes, I love that the leather really adds a lot of pizzazz, Paula. I agree. Here's the leather in the narrow one, right? You've got a little bit of space there. So what you could also do, and Miranda, would you get me a 1.5 millimeter out of the scrap bin? Please. Sorry, I think I just put my resolve. I'm not going to need this, and I put it away. Let me show you with this narrow, you could fill in this space here. There we go. With either a 1 millimeter or a 1.5. See, here's the 1.5. Look at how that looks in there. Right? Isn't that gorgeous? Love, love, love. I did, Janice, for the tubes. How many tubes? For the small bangle and the narrow and the medium, you'll need 1 tube. And for the wide, I'd grab 2. You'll have some left over for sure. There was another great question. So Jonathan asks, if when you're using a bead loom for the small bangle, how many strings should I wrap? Well, here's the peyote stitch in here, right? So for the small bangle or the narrow bangle, I would warp 7, right? So you'd have 6 channels to loom with. Because peyote stitch, this is 6 across, right, is the base. So I would do the same for looming, especially if you're going to do a skinny thread in between like KO or Fireline. So for 6 channels, you'll have to wrap 7 warps. Okay, does that make sense? So the same for the rest of these. If you're looming or bead weaving a base row of 8 beads, you would, let me focus this, you would wrap 9 warps, and a base row of 11, you'd wrap 12. And we have a really great Tricks to Looming handout over on beadshop.com. If you look up Tricks to Looming, you will see our really wonderful classic handout that's over there. So go over and download that, right? Let me also check. And thank you, Margaret, for asking everyone to give a thumbs up. We really, really appreciate that. Oh my goodness, there are almost 400 of you watching. Thank you so much, my friends. We super appreciate it. Let me get our regular seal-on. There's a question about that, and there's also a question about beading on the side of the leather or having the beads over the leather. I did do, here's a sample of it. And on my broadcast, I think when Janice and I were doing this broadcast on Wednesday with Janice's surrounded bracelet that she did, it was really a gorgeous, it's a classic Janice design. I'll show you this. Right here, we were playing around with this. This is our classic prairie style bracelet. I used regular seal-on here, and these are 8/0. So we also added in some 10/0 Delica Mixes. So I think that 10/0, if you're doing regular seal-on, 10/0 are the way to go for this. If you're using fine or micro seal-on, then I think you can jump down to the 11/0 Delica. Okay, if that makes sense. Stay tuned on our Bead Shop Lives because we're going to be doing more of these. These are our classic prairie bracelets. People love them. We've got a lot of the prairie projects that are up on the website as well. So that's a fun one to do. Let me get back to the project at hand because I wanted to show you a couple of things as we are doing our peyote stitch, right? let me do this. I want to be really cognizant of the time because I'm going to run out of time. So let me show you this quick. These are the ADOT Delicas, the DBL. We carry them in the ADOT size as well. Not as appropriate for these bangles, but a lot easier to demo with the peyote stitch. So where did my needles go? Here they are. I'm using size 10 sharps here, right? These are really, this is kind of my my go-to for this, but you could use any beading needle you like, a size 10 beading needle, a 12. Those will also work. My friends, don't forget to comment for the $25 gift card. Hit that TGBE. We're going to do that drawing at the end. And I'm going to put that coupon code as a crawl right at the bottom for now. Okay. So let me go ahead. I'm going to grab a needle. It's a good thing there's a half hour between these. I might run over just slightly, but we shall see. We shall see. Okay. So here I go. I'm going to come in. I want to show you the peyote stitch really quickly. Now, peyote stitch, we have a lot of kind of basics on the peyote stitch that you can find on Bead Shop, right? But I want to show you just really quick with these, because they're large, it'll be easier for you to see. Let me do an even count, right? Here's 4. So the base row is always actually, if I can get this needle to stay through, these holes are so big. Your base row is always your first 2 rows, right? So there's that, right? We've put on our first 2 rows. Let me get a little tighter in here so you can see this. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right. So the mantra is put on a bead, skip a bead, which is this one, go through a bead, which is that one there. Okay? So I'm going to come in, I'm going to tighten that up. This only has 4 beads, so it's going to go fast. But everything's slidey. Now I'm using Fireline. You can use Fireline for this project. You can use KO for this project. Any of your fine beading threads will work. For this channel bangle, though, I really wanted to use the Fireline. Now see how I had to play around with that just a little bit to get that little kind of T shape, right? Like that. So I want to go ahead, I want to put on a bead, I'm going to skip a bead, and I'm going to go through the last bead. Okay? So when it's an even count, you can see you've got your little places there, and it's very easy to come in and drop your bead. So that's 3 rows. Let's go ahead and do our 4th row. Put on a bead, we skip this bead, and we go through a bead. We put on a bead, we skip that bead, we go through a bead, right? So now here's our 4th row, and we'll turn. Put on a bead, skip a bead, go through a bead. Put on a bead, skip a bead, go through a bead. That's all there is to peyote stitch, my friends. And you just continue peyote stitching until your piece is long enough, right? Again, this is the ADOTs, right? So I'm using the ADOTs rather than these tiny 11s. It's easier for you to see this peyote worked up that way, okay? And to count the rows, what you do is you count the end beads. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 rows of peyote stitch here. Okay, so let me cut this away. Let's tackle odd count. All right, and don't be afraid of odd count. Okay, odd count, it's just as easy. It just takes a little bit more of a step. Okay, so let's put on 5 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and that's exactly right. Terry, your light bulb turned on. Yes. You, where was your light bulb comment? Hang on. Yes, here it is. Exactly. You just zip it together. See how you've got these little openings, and you bring it around and the beads fit in and you zip it up to close. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay. And so here is 5. Okay. So now odd count is nice because if you're doing this in a pattern or whatever, you have a center bead. Okay. Which I like sometimes in patterns and in designs. I did this design over here. Well, now put it. I'll save that for it. That's a future me problem. All of these little samples of beads, Miranda, I can't find anything. But anyway, if you wanted something that had a center to it, then you do an odd count. So let me show you. I'm going to put on a bead, just like regular peyote. Put on a bead, skip a bead, go through a bead. And the thing I like about these mixes is you don't have to follow a graph, right? You just put the bead on that comes up on your needle. Obviously, these are all one color, so I don't have to worry about that. But in these mixes, I don't really worry about which one goes on. So now I'm going to put on a bead. I'm going to skip a bead. I go through a bead. Now, if this were even count, I would just turn around, right, and come back. But it's not. It's odd count, right? So what I have to do here is I'm going to put this bead on because that's the bead that needs to sit next to this loose one. I'm going to put this on. Okay. So what I have here, this looks like this now, right? And I see some of your questions, friends. I'll get back to those in a second. Now, what I have to do, though, is I have to come back. I need to reposition my thread so that my thread is going down this bead, right? Because I need to have it go down to make an extra row, my next row. But I don't want to just go around and have thread being shown. So what I do is I kind of do a U-turn. So I come here to the row below and I go these 2 beads. This is a little funny because this is the first row. Let me tighten it up so you can see it. I go through the first 2 beads in the stack. Let me get this back to where it should be. Then I go back through this bead, right? It'll be a little bit easier to see when I do this. I'm going to keep doing this and so that my rows kind of tame. You're not the only one who has to fuss with the first 2 rows of peyote stitch, right? So see there, I'm coming out here. I'm going, now I need to send it back up. So I came down and now I'm going to send it back up right here, here, this one, and down. Okay. So now my needle is in position. So let me talk that through to you one more time. Okay. I came up, my needle was coming out here. I came down here, crossed over, came up, and back down. So essentially you're doing like a little crisscross U-turn to get your thread back there. Okay, so let me now just peyote stitch this row. You tighten everything up. I know the first rows are always a challenge. There we go. But it will tighten once you add in, let me flip this over because I want to go this way. Once you add in your beads. So there that bead goes. Put on a bead, skip a bead, go through a bead. Now, luckily, you only have to do that U-turn on one end, one side of your row. Okay? So I'm going to put on a bead, skip a bead, go through a bead, put on a bead, skip a bead, go through a bead. I put on a bead, I U-turn back through the bead below it, the bead below that, the bead below that. Put it through the bead next to it, diagonal up, and back down. Now that's how I turn. There are a lot of different ways to turn the corner. Well, not a lot, but there's a couple of different ways in odd count. Okay, Sally is saying at the end of the row, add a bead, go through 2 beads to the end, turn around. There's a lot of different ways to do this, different seed beaters, but this is how I do it. I like that kind of U-turn kind of a thing for that. Okay, I'm going to go back and just double check. And again, these are 8/aughts, 8/0. Can you see this is 11/0? Aught is AUGHT, the old word for 0. So this is 11/aught or 11/0. Sometimes people say 11/0, right, for the size. This one is the 10/aught or 10/0 size. And then this, the DBL, this is the 8/aught size. Okay. Hopefully I haven't lost anyone's comments. Okay. And Karen had a question back here. Karen, I'm looking for it, or someone was asking, I think it was you, Karen, what else can we use in these cuffs? What other types of stitches? Any flat seed bead stitch will work, right? Bead weaving, square stitch, anything that's flat. You can put anything in here. Be inventive, right? And so, good question. The difference between the even and odd count is that there is an even number of beads here in your base row, 1, 2, 3, 4, versus an odd count in the base row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we just vary that count depending on what fits in the channel. So this, I believe, is also up on our website, but this is, let me put it here in the center and let me focus this. I want to get to the diamond glaze next. I want to talk about diamond glaze, so I'm going to do that. But here's the bangle. Go ahead and screenshot this. For now, And it'll also be downloadable or in the notes on this project as well. Okay. So let me get my piece. You know how it is. You have so many like good intentions, right, to finish things. At least I always do. And I think, oh yeah, I'm going to finish that up and it's going to look great and I'll have that all done. Well, you know what? I never do. I'm not never, but I rarely do, right? So last night I was supposed to finish this strip of peyote. Instead, Chris and I had sushi and sake and watched a movie. I'll be completely honest. But it was definitely needed. But I do have a short piece here, and I'm going to glue it in part of the way, and then I will do another piece of peyote stitch, and I'll just zip it in right here. Okay? So essentially, what you do is you come in. This has an 8 base row. Whoops, I've lost my needle. Here it is. Let me just re-thread this. I'm keeping an eye on my time. Don't forget, my friends, to comment hashtag TGBE. At the very end, we'll do our drawings for the gift certificates. And also, don't forget to enter that drawing for the big TGBE prize. It's over on the Great Bead Extravaganza page. Go and add your email so you're in the drawing to win that big $500 bundle. Let me do that. Okay, so let me just finish this up. I'm going to put one more bead here. And at the end, when your bead weaving, or your peyote stitch rather, finishes up, when you want to finish it, you bring it around. I need to go back through and do one more. And you're going to zip it up, right? You're going to stitch it right up. And what I do is when I put this on, I will stitch it closed, and then it stretches just slightly. I'll fit it to the bracelet, and I will zip it up closed. Okay, can you see that, how I did that there? And it comes around, and see how these just, I'm going to zoom in on it if I can. Those little beads just stick, the outie bead sticks into the innie bead, and it comes across, and you just zip those up. Okay? So you zip everything up so it fits tightly around your bangle, just like this one that I'm wearing here. Hang on, let me get it off of my wrist. Okay? Then I fit it in, and then I add my diamond glaze. Okay? So I'm going to come in, I'm going to add some diamond glaze to this, but I'll come back in later and I'll add some more peyote. But I want to show you how that diamond glaze works. And so there's a question, why would you use even count or odd count? It's whatever fits in across the channel. So the even count fits in these two. The odd count fits in the wide. Okay. So let's get our diamond glaze. I'm going to open it up right here. I'm going to clip off the tip, and I'm going to, on my little plastic baggie there, I'm going to squirt out a little bit of that diamond glaze. Okay. Then I'm going to come in, let me zoom in just a touch here. Then I'm going to come in with a toothpick or a little orange wood stick or, you know, popsicle stick, whatever. And I'm going to put that in. And what I do is I put it all the way across my bangle. And see how this is a nice thin coat, right? And this is our diamond glaze. We carry it here on Bead Shop. It's a dimensional adhesive. It's fantastic. I love it. I'll show you something else I diamond glazed. Then, essentially, you slide your closed up piece right over, kind of push it in, and that's all she wrote. You just let it stay. Just like that. And let it dry. I'm trying to, there we go. And it dries very quickly. Okay. Now, this is back during the holidays. I did this earring, the snowflake earring, and I used it as the stiffener. Okay. So it stiffened this really nicely. And can you see how the diamond glaze just fades into this? Let me get a little closer here. But I did a couple of layers on this, right? So you could, if you wanted to, and I might test this out, I didn't use any diamond glaze over the top of this, but this is in there. It's not going anywhere. It's really, it's in there. So, and you didn't need like a big, I'm going to lift this up a little bit. You don't need a big amount of the diamond glaze for it to stick. Just slide a nice thin coating over the top, and that's it, right? If you're using, Susan has a question about like a squeeze bangle, one that's not a complete circle. I think that the squeezing of the diamond glaze might shatter it. So I think that diamond glaze wants to be on something that is stationary, if that makes sense. Okay. Yes, Cindy, seed bead earrings, you'd like it to be stiffer at the top. Diamond glaze is exactly what I use as stiffener. And what I did was I put this diamond glaze, when I did this one, I put it down on a plastic baggie just like this. And all I did was, I'll add a little more diamond glaze to this. It's dry, but it doesn't matter. I came in and I diamond glazed it, right? Like that. Then I let it dry. Then here in the center of this earring, I wanted another gem duo. Okay. So what I did was I put the diamond glaze on the front of this piece like that. Put a little bit around there, dropped my gem duo in the center, and let it dry, and it's fine. I could, if I wanted to, add a little more diamond glaze here. It's dimensional, so it also kind of fills in gaps. It dries clear. This is one that I did back before the holidays. So, but you can see, you can still add it. Now, there are some more questions here, so let me get to that. Then we have to get to the drawing, and then I have to sign off because I'm going over my time, and I want to be respectful of my other friends. So Andy's saying she likes diamond glaze better than Mod Podge. It works great on paper beads, dry air clay pieces. I agree. I love it. I love resin, but it works really well for a lot of things. So we do carry this over on Bead Shop. So you'll see it there. Let's see if there's some more. And Joy, I applied it to the front and the back. You can make a tiny little piece of the peyote stitch also and kind of play around with it to see how it looks on the front or on the back. Zandra, I don't think that this is something you want to use with cloth. I think that there are other things that you could use, though, if you make a little sampler and try it out. But this is water-based, so it may wash out. Okay, I have not tried it yet. But you could, if you are adhering this to, like, let's say that you have a bead embroidery piece, right? And you want to put that bead embroidery piece on a piece, on the bangle or whatever, you definitely could use it that way. Okay. But on its own, to stiffen cloth like a starch, I probably wouldn't. So yeah, no, Janice, you were right on. You were right on with that. I was thinking that maybe you were just using it to stiffen cloth on its own like a starch. Okay. So let me add myself back to this, and we're going to go ahead and pull our winners. So make sure, my friends, comment TGBE to win a $25 gift card from Bead Shop. I'm going to add our giveaway tool. Bear with me here for that. The giveaway tool is here. I'm sharing it. We have 323 entries. I'm going to draw 2. Okay. So let me go ahead and draw our first winner. This is going to be delivered to you electronically via your email. So Jean Robertson, are you here? If you are, please comment, my friend. And what you're going to do is you are going to email us at info@beadshop.com so we confirm your email address. Okay, so Jean, are you still watching? I want you to go ahead and comment. Yes, great. Jean, congratulations. So go ahead and email us at info@beadshop.com. Let's choose a second one. Okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to grab our second winner. Fran Ramirez. Fran, are you here? You will also be grabbing a $25 gift certificate. Fran, I'm waiting for your comment here. And go ahead and email us at info@beadshop.com. And I will go ahead and make those gift cards and send them right off. Fran, I'm waiting for your comment here. Yes, perfect. Fran, I see you. You're here. Perfect. Congratulations. Awesome. I love it. Love, love, love. All right. So congratulations to our wonderful winners. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining us today. I packed a lot of info in this broadcast. I hope I didn't bite off more than I could chew, but do know that our coupon code does go through Monday. Enter code TGBE20, enter at checkout, and save 20% off store-wide through 1/13/25. Do remember, my friends, that we also go live every week Let me take this comment off. Bear with me so you can see the whole thing. We go live every week on our beadshop.com socials. You can find us on Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Find us on all the socials. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button on our YouTube so you never miss any of our content. And my goodness, 400 of you are watching me today. Thank you so, so much for your support of our little endeavors. You know, we are all small businesses here at the Great Bead Extravaganza, and we really, really appreciate all of your patronage and your support. Share these videos out to other people who would enjoy this content. Here's the rest of the schedule. Coming up after me at 11:30 Pacific time, our buddy Jill McKay is going to be on. She is the OG of the bead world. She has a beautiful bracelet that she's going to be sharing with you. And don't forget to go over to the Great Bead Extravaganza pages, find this graphic, and enter to win a $500 bead shopping spree courtesy of all the Great Bead Extravaganza companies. Please know that these gift cards will be delivered to you electronically. We will not ask you for a payment or contact you in any private messages in any way. So do not fall for any scam artists that are out there. The only way you can enter to win is to enter on this post in our Great Bead Extravaganza group and page. Okay. So that's it. That's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great time for the rest of the TGBE. And if you have any questions, don't forget to contact the individual companies. Any questions for us here at beadshop.com, shoot us an email over at info. And as Janice is saying right here, and I wholeheartedly concur, we really appreciate for watching and supporting all of these small businesses. You all are the best. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next week on my live broadcast. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon.